All right, let's dive in, shall we? Into a world that's both familiar and mysterious, the ocean.
Mm.
Today, we're taking you on a deep dive into marine biology.
Oh,
We've got excerpts from the Wikipedia article on the topic, and we're going to extract the most fascinating insights about this vast and vital part of our planet.
when most people hear marine biology, I think they think of dolphins and whales.
Right.
But it's so much bigger than that.
Right.
It's about all the life that calls the ocean home, from microscopic bacteria to the largest animals on Earth.
So it's not just about the creatures themselves, but also how they interact with their environment.
Exactly. And that environment is incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
We're talking about a three-dimensional world that covers over 70% of the Earth's surface.
Wow.
And just like on land, the ocean has these distinct habitats, each with its own unique set of challenges and opportunities
Right.
for the life that thrives there.
That makes sense. The article mentions coastal habitats like intertidal zones.
Right. Which are constantly being reshaped by the tides.
Yeah.
It must be a tough place to live.
It is. Imagine being submerged in salt water one moment and then exposed to the drying sun the next.
Oh, wow.
The creatures that live in these intertidal zones have evolved some incredible adaptations
Yeah.
to survive these extremes.
It's like a boot camp for marine life.
Yeah.
And then there are estuaries
Yeah.
where rivers meet the sea. The article describes them as incredibly productive, almost like the rainforests of the ocean.
That's a great comparison.
Really?
The mixing of freshwater and saltwater creates this nutrient-rich environment that supports a huge variety of plants and animals.
Yeah.
In fact, many commercially important fish species rely on estuaries
Oh.
for at least part of their life cycle.
Speaking of important habitats,
Oh.
you can't forget coral reefs.
Right.
They're often called the rainforests of the sea, too, right?
They are, but tragically, they're also some of the most threatened ecosystems on the planet.
Climate change, pollution, and overfishing have led to a decline of 70%
Wow.
of the world's coral reefs.
Those numbers are alarming.
Yeah.
What would happen if we lost coral reefs entirely?
Well, beyond their beauty, coral reefs provide food and shelter for a quarter of all marine species.
Wow.
They protect coastlines from erosion and storms, and they even play a role in regulating the global climate.
Uh-huh.
Losing them would have a devastating ripple effect
Yeah.
on ocean health and ultimately on all of us.
Yeah. It's a sobering thought. From these vibrant, bustling reefs,
Right?
let's shift our focus to the vast open ocean. The article describes it as
Right.
relatively unproductive, which seems surprising considering its size.
It's all about nutrient availability.
Okay.
The open ocean lacks that steady influx of nutrients that you find in coastal areas.
Right.
But here's the thing. The sheer scale of the open ocean means that even with low productivity per unit of area,
Yeah.
it's still the biggest contributor to primary productivity on Earth.
Yeah. So it's a bit like a desert, vast and seemingly empty, but teeming with life if you know where to look.
Exactly. And then there are the deep sea and trenches where sunlight never reaches,
Yeah.
and the pressure is immense.
Yeah.
Even in this extreme environment, life finds a way.
That's where things get really mind-blowing. The article mentions bioluminescent creatures lighting up the darkness,
Right.
hydrothermal vents acting as oases of life, and the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth. It's like something out of science fiction.
It is. And what's even more fascinating is that we've only explored a tiny fraction of the deep sea.
Really?
Who knows what incredible adaptations and undiscovered species are still out there?
It makes you realize how much we still have to learn about the ocean.
Yeah.
So now that we've set the scene and explored these diverse marine habitats,
Well-
I'm ready to meet the inhabitants. Where do we start?
Well, how about we begin at the beginning
Okay.
with the tiniest but arguably most important forms of marine life, the microscopic world.
You're talking about the plankton. I remember learning about those in school.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for a refresher.
Excellent. Get ready to have your mind blown by the sheer diversity and importance of these microscopic creatures.
Okay.
They may be small, but they're the foundation of the entire marine food web
Wow.
and play a vital role in the global ecosystem.
Okay, so we're talking about the microscopic world.
Right.
I'm ready to hear about these tiny but mighty creatures.
Well, imagine a world teeming with life, a vibrant underwater city, invisible to the naked eye.
Okay.
That's the world of plankton.
The article mentioned phytoplankton, which I vaguely remember from biology class.
Right.
They're the ones responsible for photosynthesis in the ocean, right?
That's right. They're like the tiny forests of the ocean, using sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and sugars.
Uh-huh.
In fact, phytoplankton produce about half of the oxygen we breathe.
Wow, that's amazing. I never realized how much we rely on these microscopic organisms.
It's truly remarkable. And then there's zooplankton, a diverse group of tiny animals that feed on phytoplankton.
Okay.
They're like the grazers of the ocean, transferring energy from the base of the food web to larger animals.
So it's a delicate balance: phytoplankton producing oxygen and food, and zooplankton keeping their populations in check.
Right.
While providing nourishment for larger creatures, it all seems so interconnected.
It is, and this intricate web of life extends beyond the microscopic world.
Yeah.
The article talks about larger plants and algae like kelp and sargassum that play a similar role to trees and forests on land.
I've seen pictures of kelp forests. They look incredible.
These underwater forests provide food and shelter for a wide variety of marine life, from tiny fish to sea otters.
Wow.
They also help protect coastlines from erosion and storms.
The article also mentions seagrasses, which are adapted to live in the salty ocean environment.
Right.
Are they important too?
Absolutely. Seagrasses form meadows that act as nurseries for many fish and starfish species.
Okay.
They also help improve water quality and sequester carbon from the atmosphere.
So we've got these underwater forests and meadows providing habitat and food for a whole host of creatures.
Right.
I'm starting to get a sense of just how complex and interconnected the marine ecosystem is.
It is, and we haven't even touched on the incredible diversity of invertebrates yet.
That's right. The article just gives a quick list: jellyfish anemones, sea worms, shellfish, squids, starfish, sponges. It's mind-boggling.
Each of these groups has evolved unique adaptations to survive and thrive in their specific environments.
Right.
For instance, jellyfish with their pulsating bells and stinging tentacles are incredibly efficient predators.
Oh, wow.
And sponges, despite their simple structure, play a vital role in filtering water and providing habitat for other organisms.
It's amazing how much diversity is packed into the ocean, but what about fungi? I always think of them as terrestrial organisms.
Most people do, but there's actually a surprising amount of fungal diversity in marine environments.
Really?
Over 10,000 species have been identified so far.
So what are these marine fungi doing down there?
They're playing important roles in nutrient cycling, breaking down organic matter, and forming symbiotic relationships with other organisms. Wow. Some marine fungi even produce unique compounds that have potential applications in medicine and biotechnology.
It seems like every time we uncover a new layer of the ocean, we find even more complexity and wonder.
Exactly. And that's what makes marine biology so fascinating. But it's not just about cataloging species and understanding their roles in the ecosystem.
Right.
Researchers are also using cutting-edge technology to track marine organisms and map their movements, revealing hidden patterns and connections.
The article mentioned tracking devices like pop-up satellite tags. That sounds pretty high-tech.
It is. Imagine attaching a tiny computer to a whale or a sea turtle and being able to follow its movements across vast distances.
Wow.
That's what these tags allow researchers to do.
So we're not just observing marine life in a static way anymore. We're actually seeing how they move and interact with their environment in real time.
Precisely. And the insights we're gaining are incredible. We're learning about migration patterns, breeding grounds, foraging areas,
Great.
and even how animals respond to changes in their environment.
That must be crucial for conservation efforts.
Absolutely. For example, tracking data has helped us identify critical habitats for endangered species, leading to the establishment of marine protected areas.
Okay.
It's also helped us understand the impact of human activities like fishing and shipping on marine life.
It sounds like this kind of research is essential for protecting the ocean
Wow.
and ensuring its health for future generations.
It is, and it's just one example of how technology is revolutionizing our understanding of the ocean, speaking of which.
Yeah.
The article also takes us on a journey through the history of marine biology, from Aristotle's early observations to the groundbreaking expeditions of the 19th century.
I'm always fascinated by the history of science. It's amazing to see how our understanding of the world has evolved over time.
It is, and marine biology is no exception. Let's dive into that history and see how we got to where we are today.
So we're going back in time to trace the history of marine biology.
Yeah, a little journey through time. Our fascination with the ocean, it goes way back.
Yeah.
You know, even Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, is making observations about marine life way back then.
I guess it makes sense. The ocean has always been there.
Right, full of mystery.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really until the 19th century that marine biology really took off as a scientific discipline.
Right.
The article highlights Edward Forbes, a British naturalist,
Okay.
as a key figure.
Yeah.
He was one of the first to really study the distribution of life on the seabed.
Okay.
And and noticed how different species thrived at different depths.
And then came those grand scientific expeditions, like the voyage of the HMS Beagle, which carried a young Charles Darwin.
Yeah,
His observations on that voyage, particularly in the Galapagos Islands, were crucial in shaping his theory of evolution.
absolutely. Those voyages were like opening up new worlds.
Yeah.
And speaking of new worlds, the HMS Challenger expedition in the 1870s was a game changer.
Oh, wow.
It was the first global-scale oceanographic expedition, and the findings were astonishing.
What did they find?
They discovered thousands of new species,
Wow.
and it revealed that the deep sea, which was previously thought to be barren,
Right.
was actually teeming with life.
It's like those early explorers venturing into uncharted territories.
Right?
They must have been amazed by what they found.
Imagine the wonder of seeing those creatures for the first time brought up from the depths.
Yeah.
Those expeditions really laid the groundwork for modern marine biology.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, came the development of new technologies. Sonar, scuba diving, submersibles,
Right.
which allowed us to explore the ocean in even greater detail.
It's mind-boggling to think how far we've come from simple observations to sophisticated underwater robots exploring the deepest trenches.
Yeah,
It shows the power of human curiosity.
it does. And that curiosity is still driving us forward.
Yeah.
Even with all of our advancements, there's still so much we don't know about the ocean.
Right.
We've only explored a tiny fraction of it.
Really?
And new discoveries are being made all the time.
So as much as we've learned, there's still a sense of the unknown, a frontier waiting to be explored.
Precisely. And that's what makes marine biology so exciting. There are still mysteries to be solved, species to be discovered, and connections to be made.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what amazing secrets are still hidden beneath the waves?
It really does. After this deep dive, I'm filled with a sense of awe and wonder. It's incredible to think about the sheer diversity of life in the ocean and how much we still have to learn.
And it's not just about the scientific discoveries.
Right.
The ocean plays a vital role in regulating the planet's climate, providing food and resources, and even inspiring us with its beauty.
Yeah.
Understanding and protecting the ocean is crucial for all of us.
Well said. This deep dive has been an eye-opening journey. I feel like I've gained a new appreciation for the ocean and its importance.
Yeah.
It's a world we need to cherish and protect.
Absolutely. And remember, you don't have to be a marine biologist to make a difference.
Right.
We can all contribute by making sustainable choices, supporting ocean conservation efforts, and simply spreading awareness about the wonders of the marine world.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that sense of wonder alive. The ocean is waiting to be discovered.